Jerry Seinfeld, tell us what you really think about diversity on your show.
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males of 22 episodes that you've had.
Yeah, let's get into that.
No, but you
take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here? Oh, this really pisses me off. But go ahead. Really pisses me off.
Well, that's okay.
Go ahead.
But you made a comment on the Tina Fey episode that I thought was interesting that I'd like to get your thoughts on a little bit more. You said, you were talking to her and you said something about the female comedians. It's a struggle for them to balance their feminine projections with their comedic goals.
Yes.
And in the context of comedy, not gender diverse, I just want to know what you meant by that.
Well, I was kind of curious what it's like to be a woman in comedy as opposed to a man. There is a little bit of a difference, and I thought that might be an interesting thing to discuss from her perspective. She's so successful at it, and I was just wondering how she looked at it, if she even thought about it. And she kind of gave me the answer, which is, yeah, you do have to think about that, but, you know, it's just another thing to think about.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Now
but there were a lot of things about comedians and cars in the beginning. The first 10 I did, I think, were all white males. And people were writing all about that, which
that's part of the reason why I asked. People had tweeted at me when I said I'm interviewing with Jerry Seinfeld. Said, okay, ask him about their gender diversity on the show.
Yeah, I mean, people think it's the census or something. I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares? It's just funny. You know, funny is the world that I live in. You're funny, I'm interested. You're not funny, I'm not interested.
Okay.
And I have no interest in gender or race or anything like that, but everyone else is kind of with their little calculating, is this the exact right mix? You know, I think that's, to me, it's anti-comedy. It's anti-comedy. It's more about, you know, PC nonsense than are you making us laugh or not?
Right.
So that is Jerry Seinfeld on comedy and diversity. He comes right out and says he just doesn't give a rip. Joining me now from Los Angeles, comedian Alonzo Bowden, winner of the grand prize in the TV series Last Comic Standing. So Alonzo, nice to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here.
So we have a lot of ground to cover, but just out of the gate, what was your gut reaction, as concisely as you can, to what you just heard?
Well, my gut reaction, upon hearing it, I could see where people might mix up what Jerry was saying. But I think his show, I always looked at that as more of like his friends that he's talking to. So I don't think Jerry, you know, Jerry has, obviously he has some black comics who are friends, maybe some women comics who are friends, but it seems to me maybe the majority of his friends are white male comics. I didn't see his show as something being cast like a network comedy.
So, I mean, does it bother you in your gut then that if these are his friends or not, that it's just for the most part a bunch of white people?
Well, it's his show. This is a different situation than, for example, SNL. You know, Saturday Night Live, that's a network show where, you know, there's auditions and there's casting and so on, and they have a agenda or for their show. Whereas with Jerry, I just always thought that this is a web series. It's like, I mean, it would be a podcast if it wasn't for the fact that Jerry's so famous. So the fact that he has his friends on doesn't seem unusual to me. I don't think Jerry has an agenda one way or the other. And on the other hand, you know, Jerry has no idea what it's like to be a black comedian or a Latino comedian or a woman. So he doesn't know that you have to burst through certain barriers.